Hey everyone, Nubkeks here and welcome to a post-game commentary, which I've not done in a really long time. But yeah, we're going to be playing Zagara in today's video, so I'm going to talk you through the draft and the sort of decisions and the matchups and stuff that's going to be happening there. And then I'm going to talk you through the game as well. I think this is a good game because it showcases some mistakes from me and then also some good plays. I think it hits that nice balance and is a close game. I won't tell you who wins. So yeah, I think that's what I like in a video, so I'm kind of happy to bring this one to you guys. So I am the team captain, first pick, first ban as well, so that's quite nice. Looking at banning out Garrosh, didn't really want to make a video on Garrosh. I was considering banning Zagara, and I think I decided to actually choose Zagara in the end myself. I think they're probably the two best heroes overall on Dragonshire at the moment. And of course you're going to see the Zagara side of it as we get into the gameplay in a little bit. But yeah, up to the enemy team captain now, what he wants to ban as well. Our teammates are looking at Anna and at Jaina. I think they're two fine choices as well. They actually ban out Malthael, so that's quite interesting. I'm going to definitely pick up Zagara here. So what that says to me is that the enemy team probably wants to pick some sort of bruiser, some sort of tanky top laner that Malthael would beat. And I'm pretty sure that Zagara will beat anyone that would fit that bill, right? I don't see any hero that Malthael would beat that Zagara wouldn't perform very well against as well. They pick up Zul'jin, then there's the first pick, which I think is really nice too. He's really good range damage dealer at the moment. I definitely underrated him when I saw his rework on the PTR. He's been doing extremely well. Mage Bill Zul'jin has a very large impact. It's got good sustained damage with the basic attacks and also the slows, especially from his twin cleave, are surprisingly effective. And then also, of course, the burst damage with Guillotine. I quite like the Anna pick now for our team. I don't remember exactly what other people picking this draft, so I'll just explain it as we go, right? But I do really like the Anna pick here. Anna would deny it from the Zul'jin. I think Anna Zul'jin is a very strong combo, and we're not going to be diving a dive team. We actually pick Lucio instead. Which is, that could be okay. I guess feeling that the Anna might be a bit vulnerable to the Zul'jin. But yeah, Anna Zul'jin is a really nice combo. The nano boost is so strong on Zul'jin. And then of course the healing, and it's very scary and difficult to dive a team with the Zul'jin. So that adds a nice level of protection to the Anna. And of course, I mean, we've got Zagara, like I said, so we're not going to be diving in. You know, Zagara fits the solo lane kind of off-tank spot. Well, of course, she's not. She's a squishy ranged hero. So instead of having, you know, a tank, let's say like Sonya or a Dahaka that would be more dive-oriented, which would fit in the same team spot, we're going to have Zagara, so that really limits our dive opportunities. We're going to take a Jaina as well. Then we team lock in Vala and Artanis. Our Vala one's quite unusual. You can see I did ban away the Anna. I don't particularly like the Stitches ban from the enemy team. I don't think that makes a whole ton of sense. We don't have an immense amount of follow-up. Like the Lucio follow-up to the Stitches hook can go quite badly. Jaina's good with Stitches hook, but yeah, I think that doesn't make the most sense to me. Our teammates are looking for Varian, and then our other teammate highlights Sonya. I don't think the Sonya is an ideal pick because I will be solo laning, but it can still work, and it opens us up to some pretty interesting, I'd say, map play where we can pressure one lane with the Zagara and we can pressure another lane with Sonya. So that could be quite intriguing in terms of some gameplay options, and it does give us some dive opportunity too. Yeah, then Varian, I think is a fine option to round things out. Our early game is certainly a bit weak, I'd say, going into this, but apart from that, I think we're in a good spot. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the game. Alrighty, and here we are going into the game. And again, to reiterate, so one of the main points from draft is that our early game is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge, but I think it looks quite nice for us as we go a little bit later. We'll unlock the global of Zagara at level 10, which should be huge for creating map pressure. We've got Jaina, who's got superb wave clear with Blizzard as well. Lucio scales really hard into the late game. Varian, of course, unlocks at level 10 with his taunt. And Sonya gets way tankier and does tons of damage in the late game as well. So certainly I think our late game is looking really good. I think our early laning is looking pretty weak though. You know, like Varian's not going to be very strong. Sonya's not going to be very strong in the 4-man as well. The only good thing I'd say is that we do have Jaina who can drop a Blizzard and help sustain through that. As I'm walking into the lane, The enemy team can't be further than I am with the heroes they've got, so I drop my E on the bush just a bit further to give vision into the bush. Then I drop a creep tumor down there as well. Then I drop another creep tumor in that particular bush. One core thing, which I think is quite important actually, is to, and you can see I splashed my Q onto the wave, drop our W on the Artanis as he comes in. We're going to like trade into him a little bit. I probably should have attacked him a little bit more to get a bit more pressure out. Try not to place your creep tumors within the wave, because obviously the enemy team is attacking the wave, and if they hit... it actually took me by surprise going aggressive there. I definitely overstepped. I don't have a very good early game in this game. That was a very bad trade for me. Getting greedy, should not have pushed that far forwards. But we did lose Jaina down below, which is understandable. I didn't place that creep tumor in the bush because, again, I want it slightly to the side so that they might not clear it out as easily. And this is really bad. We get swapped in by the Artanis. We just need to stay at range of him so that he can't chase us with twin blades. But yeah, that's a couple of bad trades, and we have to tap our well. Now, it does sort of somewhat even out the lane, but that's definitely not the early lane that I was hoping for. Now we can't outpush him, which is nice, and we can set up with our creep tumors, which is also nice. Gonna lay out our creep tumors. We don't want to walk in on that point and get caught in a similar situation with the Artanis that outtrades us. We sidestep this time, which is good, and our minions start doing plenty of damage to him, which is also good. Start attacking him. He goes back in with his thingy. He gets the reset on the shield, and the Shake of Frustration comes out. So that was definitely a misplay from me. Overestimated the situation. I should have been stutter stepping and kiting a bit more just to make it more difficult for Artanis to hit me. Certainly with the blade dash, I could have maintained, you know, as much damage while stutter stepping. Obviously thought, oh, he was just about close to dead. It was very close, but he does proc the shield, and then he finishes me off. And I died like a big noob, so that's pretty bad, and we are down half a level in terms of experience. Now the good news is that I will make it back in time to take this wave, and actually adjust my build in this particular game. I take Serrated Spines, which I never ever take. I don't like the talent, I think it's bad. This is the one that gives you, sorry, I took as well the Baneling talent at level 1, which gives you bonus damage against non-heroic targets with your Q. And increases their range as well by 50%, both things by 50%. I think that's really good. But yeah, I normally hate Serrated Spines. I don't think it's much good. But I said, against this Artanis, I think I actually do want it. I feel like I've got enough pushing power and wave clear anyway, so I can afford to do so. And you can see we've lost a lot of heroes in the 4-man team as well. That's kind of expected. I push in the lane up top, so I'm able to rotate down a little bit. Just push that out. Removes a little bit of pressure. It's somewhat risky, but Artanis hasn't noticed. We're taking that risk to relieve some pressure on our team, who obviously had some pretty bad trades down below, and understandably so. Like I said, our early team just isn't super great, so that's unfortunate. Alright, Artanis comes back in, he does swap us, but we're able to sidestep. We're putting some damage out on him, and basically my goal is to trade into him as much as possible. Sorry, a little bit of banging in the background, that's over now though. But yeah, it's basically to do that. He's dangerous when he gets into melee range, but we can kite him away. We're faster than he is on the creep. Of course, he does get some range, a little bit of range on his hop with his twin blade, twin strike, so we have to watch out for that. But it's not too dangerous. Apart from that, we survive on 10 HP or something. That's quite lucky. He's quite lucky. Getting a little bit greedy in those trades, perhaps. Bearing in mind, we are down in talent, and of course, Varian is just not that much of a threat early on. Good news is we've stacked up our Serrated Spines a little bit, so that's okay. Sonya will almost definitely die, and down she goes. So yeah, rough game so far. This is one of the big mistakes that people can make on Dragonshire as well, is, well, they really make it on every map, but I noticed on Dragonshire in particular, once you lose a hero or two, you basically have to give up the thingy. I get caught out by Artanis, didn't expect to have him there. We're going to take our Q talent at level 7 while we're running away and then turn around. So I do take the talent on the Q that applies a slow, 20% slow when we hit someone with our Q. That's going to be, again, it's the one I always take, but it's also going to be super good against Artanis because it will slow him down, enable us to kite more, which means we can stay at range, just firing damage into him. He can't hit us and refresh his shield, and we'll all be okay. This is also an interesting spot to be in. I don't want to give him a target to W out to. Fortunately, we miss our Qs, which is a big mistake. But yeah, so I clear out the wave, put him under pressure to get back and clear the wave. You can see the turret actually does go down. And then, yeah, I just want to make sure I don't want to walk into his face there, and then he just twin blades to me, gets reset on his shield, gets that gap closer, and gets back to safety an awful lot sooner. I don't want to do that, so that's what I try not to do. You see, I'm just covering this place with creep. I'm powering forwards to level 7 when level 10, excuse me, when we unlock the real Zagara power spike. So just pushing down these towers, getting them destroyed, and yeah, despite our early death, and certainly we've had several early deaths as well from the 4-man, we're definitely in a rough spot. But I think we the 4-man I think was expecting to be in a rough spot. So we don't feel too bad being only this far behind. It could be an awful lot worse. I think the bigger concern is me losing top lane was not too good. Now, in this situation right here, we're losing bottom lane and the enemy team's about to hit level 10, so there's basically no way that we can take this. So I'd actually rotate towards middle to get some wave clear, get some XP going for us. Again, relieve some of that pressure on the map. I push the Artanis in. It's no longer safe for me to be down that lane, so I just back off. I come to middle and I start pressuring out. You can see we actually trade quite nicely into Vala. Unfortunately, we've got no well. I don't actually have the well tap anyway, though. So we're going to lose that point. Teammates do a good job down bottom, push them off. Really super important, though. I don't think I finished that thought, but don't overcommit. When you're down level 10 or when you lose 1 or even 2 heroes, you're going to lose a Dragon Knight. It's almost impossible to defend at that stage. And one of the worst things you can do is when you've lost a hero or 2 is to send, like, for example, fight a 3v5 in a desperate attempt to protect the TK. That can go really badly. Now, we have actually defended quite well here, I would say. And we're getting lots of damage out. Nice move by the Varian. Good taunt in on the Alarak. Not the Alarak, the Artanis we're chasing. I'm trying to do as much damage as I can. Now, I do fire some Qs into the minion wave, which is a bit derpy. We're going to drop our E on top. Again, we're just doing as much damage as we can. Stutter stepping across the creep. While I'm on the creep with my Nydus network, I do get cooldown reduction on my basic attacks, which is really fantastic. Gonna drop in some extra damage here. I'm trying to be careful not to overextend and get myself killed, but nice work by the Varian. And with his parry, I believe Vala gave him some resets on his parry talents as well. Always an annoying problem when you're playing Vala to go against the Varian. Well played by him. We stay kind of cautious, come in, help him finish off the Vala, turn it around pretty quickly, and that gets us a nice kill. And with those kills, the enemy team makes the mistake I was talking about. They overcommit to fights, and we take basically complete control of the map. Now I've got Nydus network and things really open up as Zagara. I want to get creep on several key locations. I want, certainly when we've got the forts, I want creep and a Nydus network near each of the forts. I want one near each of our mercenary camps. I ideally want a Nydus network down on the bottom bruiser camp as well. So I'm going to be able to race those really fast. It's actually going to be weaker. I normally take, like I said, Medusa Blades on level 4. Which makes your basic attacks hit 3 other nearby targets. And this is an overcommittal on our part. I'm not sure why they've gone in so hard here. But yeah, I'm out of mana. Sonya's been split pushing bottom. Our team forces a fight really hard. I think Varian, I think he came out of the DK there or something and didn't notice that we did not have... We also didn't have Ring of Frost. We didn't have Sound Barrier. Like, we're missing... We don't have our heroics or our full team. It's just a big, big loss for us. Forces the fight and we lose it. So that's not ideal at all. That's another kind of standard enough mistake. You get protective armor, or coating. Gives us some armor when we're on the creep. A bit more extra survivability, which is cool. And yeah, there's a big fight happening down bottom. So I'm going to do Zagara things and I'm going to come top, right? With my global. Nice work by the team. Actually get a kill down there, which is really good. And I'm going to push that in that lane up top. Now I'm moving in to set up some positions. I noticed that everyone's gone bottom to team fight, so I'm going to come into middle, and I'm going to get middle pushing as well, get that soaking, yeah, so getting lots of bonus experience for our team. Again, I know where the enemy team is. I'm not in any danger whatsoever here. I'm able to come and clear these out. And now the enemy team is going to be under huge pressure because they're pushed in on 2 lanes. They're pushed in top, they're pushed in bottom. That's going to do structural damage. It's going to remove ammo on the structures. The lane's going to start pushing back towards me when the structures kill the minion waves. And then when that happens, I can just simply rotate around and clear them both out again. This is exactly where I want to be as well. I'm standing on creep. Always fight a merc camp on creep because you get cooldown reduction on all of your abilities when you hit stuff on creep with Nydus network. So we're able to do lots of damage. Now, I was kind of concerned at this point, should I be joining my team? Because there is a fight happening. Luckily, it's a 1-for-1 trade, right? Unfortunately, I don't have a network to come out of. I actually just came off cooldown. I would have didn't pay proper attention. Luckily, our team does okay there. I'm going to drop a network down there. I'm going to come push into middle to top, excuse me, to help that out. Get that merc camp pushing in. So now the enemy team's under huge pressure. They have to get someone up top lane to defend against that merc camp, or it's going to do lots of damage. Muradin's there, but he's not going to be able to do too much against it. And our team is kind of crushing bottom lane as well. So here, yes, I mean, this is really interesting. So all 4 of the enemy team actually have rotated up top. At this point, I'm dead. I'm caught by surprise by this rotation. Lucio comes to try save me. I don't think it's actually worth it. So the enemy team, they do kill me. However, this is ultimately, I think, pretty good for us. Again, took me by surprise because Zul'jin was dead. I didn't think they'd make such an aggressive rotation. But you'll see, this death actually ends up being pretty good, right? Because now Zul'jin has to run bottom. So it's still a 4v4 up top. We're not losing up top. I'm dead, sure. I'll actually get back quicker than Zul'jin will, though, because he has to wave clear down bottom. There was a siege camp pushing bottom. It's going to destroy the fort. It's going to get damage on the keep walls, and that's extremely dangerous. They need someone down bottom as well. So Zul'jin has to go down bottom. The enemy team gets greedy, thinking they're winning because they just kill Zagara, but they're not, because it's a 4v4. Our team plays it well, punishes them. Again, like Zul'jin is probably their biggest threat, so without him, they're in a bit of a rough spot. Our team plays well, gets some kills, and then hey, I'm Zagara with a global, so I'm back on the map pretty quickly. The bad news is, of course, I lost my creep and my network up top, so we'll have to re-establish that. And again, going back to Zagara things, just split soaking, putting pressure on all these lanes, because that's so important, right? The pressure that we created around the map, it has added up to a big experience lead. The enemy team is having a really tough time keeping up with the experience soak, because we've got so much wave pressure. I can hop up in nearly any lane at any given time. We've been taking mercenaries thanks to the lane pressure, which increases more, and it's just this snowball effect of, and it's really creating a lot of problems for the poor old enemy team here. This is an interesting spot. When you've got one creep tumor left, it's always worth considering, where do I place it down? Because if you attack while you're on the creep, you get cooldown reduction. So you do want to place it somewhere that's you know, pretty good, pretty smart. So right here, I'm going to lay this down. Just waiting for that to spread so I could place down my network. I'm going to come out in the middle. Our team actually got a pick onto the Artanis, who was isolated on his own, perhaps. I'm not sure what happened. I presume it's variant taunt. Perhaps he went a bit too ham. I was thinking that the enemy team must have been near that bruiser camp. I was quite confused as to where they were, seeing as Artanis got caught alone. Turns out he's actually not near there at all. So this is a huge win for us. Our team is looking to fight here, and I think it is a pretty good idea. We're just going to wave clear. I'm expecting the enemy team to run away. They actually don't, though. They actually stay, and they take huge damage. Vala goes down. Poor old Muradin is caught in not the best spot. He does manage to vault away, but the Oriole goes down as well. So yeah, interesting there. Why did I turn around and clear the wave instead of joining the fight? Because obviously you don't expect the enemy team to take it. It's a 4v5. That's a really bad fight for them to take. They take it. We get 3 kills off the back of it. So yeah, but you note that once I saw that they were taking the fight, I did immediately leave clearing the wave and go to help out. But you would presume that clearing the wave is the right thing to do there, because you wouldn't think that the enemy team would actually pick that particular fight. Pick up Nydus at level 16, so this will also help pushing the waves and create map potential. Jaina is doing this Merc Camp. We've got tremendous amount of ability to do Merc Camp. Zagara is amazing. Jaina's amazing. Sonya's amazing. We're all amazing at Mercs, which is fantastic. Hop into my thing. I'm going to come up top. We know the enemy team is near bottom, so they can't really answer this pressure. This will give us really good control of the top half of the map. Again, I want to stay fairly safe until I know exactly where they are. I want to be ready to join in with my team if needs be. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop out here. Looks like there is going to be a fight in the middle. I've been watching this on the minimap, so I'm coming down. I'm ready to help out. We've also got 2 mercs pushing bottom, so the enemy team has to answer that. They don't have a choice. They have to. I'm going to lay down probably a thing there. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I was going to say this would be a good spot to lay one down. Okay, I do put one down. That's nice. Jaina's going to go top. I could have actually done it there with the global, laying it down and coming out. Misclick and pop out in the wrong spot. We actually end up in such a good position in terms of the map, though. I'm not going to go for that Merc Camp quite yet. We're going to come over here and see if we can fight. That fight's started pretty early by the Varian. Luckily, he is Varian, so he survives quite a long time. The poor old Artanis is quite low there. He does get taken out. Sonya's wreaking havoc as well. I'm going to come in and chase this Zul'jin around. Stand in the middle of his twin cleave so he can't get me. I could perhaps get the kill on him, but I don't want to risk it. Zul'jin, of course, getting more dangerous as his HP is lower. I probably could have got the kill there. He was so low, but it's not a huge loss anyway. We're going to get the Dragon Knight, and yeah, we're in a really good spot to realistically perhaps even push bottom and win the game. And Zagara is so valuable for the push, with just because her ability to push multiple lanes. All of that, I think, it's more worthwhile if I don't die. So I kind of took the super safe option. Very good net from Zul'jin. Does secure their team a kill. it's not really, Lucio's apologizing, it's not really his fault. I have to point the finger there quite squarely on the Dragon Knight, because the Dragon Knight is in an absolutely crazy spot. Don't know why it's pushing mid, it obviously should be pushing bottom. Push out that bottom keep, get level 20. We've got an incredibly strong level 20 team, incredibly strong core killing team. Then we go in with the DK, and we kill the core as well. So that is unfortunate. Again, I'd say the Lucio could shake his fist angrily at the, I think that's Varian inside, and say, why Varian? We could have won the game. Instead, you let me die. Now, Artanis is up top trying to soak level 20 for his team. That's a really good taunt, though. Puts that girl in a tough spot. Good work by the Zul'jin. Like I said, a surprisingly dangerous hero, and he does surprisingly dangerous things. Puts us in a bad position by killing the Sonya, so we do have to back off. Lucio's dead as well, so certainly was sort of ambitious to go for the core, but I think we had the opportunity there to do so, using my Q as well to give some cover to my teammates as we back off. This Merc camp is up, and as Zagara we're able to do it. You'll notice you basically never need to Hearthstone, or almost never, once you have network, because you heal up as much as you do in the what's it called? The Hall of Storms. While you're in your Nydus network, you regenerate a massive amount of HP and mana per second. Now, one thing you don't get, of course, is the you don't get the boost of healing that happens when you Hearthstone, but you get everything else. So again, I'm going to push out here. Once we're pushing a Zagara, we basically just spam our Qs to clear out the wave. We cast our W on cooldown to get Mutalisks, which will continue to push. We drop our E for just a bit of extra damage and a bit of extra wave clear. We do all those sort of things. Hopefully you can't hear all that noise in the background. We'll see. Getting a new room soon, so yeah. That will definitely help. And yeah, we're just putting pressure everywhere on the map. Our teammates get a nice kill. The enemy team is pulled in all sorts of different ways. Muradin's had to go up top to wave clear there, which probably did play a role in Vala dying. No Muradin there to protect her. So that is fantastic. With that kill, we're in a great spot to continue pressure here in this particular game. Now, I notice my teammates are fighting a fight. Now, bear in mind, it's okay that I'm late to this fight again, because Muradin is also late to the fight. They picked the fight while Muradin's not there. We're going to run down. We will get there. For the end of it, Muradin goes down. Nice damage by the team. That's a flip by Artanis. He's probably going to regret that. I don't think he wants to be in there. Sonya is chasing. Sonya is going to do fairly large damage to that Artanis. Fortunately, the Ring of Frost does miss. We're just blasting away at this minion wave. We want to bring the minion. I'm actually trying to pay a lot of attention to keeping minions here to make sure that that keep only attacks the minions and it's not going to turn around and attack any of our allies, which would be really bad. And with that, we're on the core. We've got Mercs, we got Catapults down bottom. The mid keep is taken out. We even have Mercs pushing in top as well. We don't even need to go get the Dragon Knight. That is enough to push through and take this out. And yeah, there you guys go. I think it's a really interesting game in the sense of I did the laning phase really badly as Zagara, so you can obviously learn from my mistakes on that against an Artanis. The Artanis played well in the laning phase, and I feel like probably got fairly tilted later in the game. Our early game team, and if you look at the draft, you really need to understand the draft. The early game team did not do well. We got wrecked in the early game, but then once we get late game, we start coming online. Our wave clear becomes really good. We've got all this global pressure with the Zagara, which is fantastic. And from that point on, we start getting all the scaling from our talents too, so our team fight starts going really well, and the enemy team is constantly behind. You can see our siege damage is absolutely huge there in the Zagara. Here's the build: Volatile Acid, Serrated Spines, don't like it though, Viscous Acid, Nydus, Rejective Coating, Mutalisk, and Endless Creep. Yeah, I normally go, and after this game, still wasn't super impressed with Serrated Spines. You ended up not even fighting Artanis that much more afterwards, so I wouldn't normally go for that. Normally go for the Medusa Blades, which splits your attacks. Really good for Merc camps, really good for wave clear, and just building on your strengths. And that's how you play Zagara, guys. Setting up those networks, creating that pressure, trying to join in with your team at the right time, and yeah, just pressuring the enemy team out of it. And insanely strong on Dragonshire, OP as hell. Definitely banner or picker if you can, and you'll see some pretty nice success. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.